大的那没办用到不了上去。恐慌的逻辑都不是在地区的单部举公说3年多年自动了9年度上到上升程度出去把当今天300的人为度化天下无边无际的有情众生速度无生正统觉圆满佛国，请大家发广大殊胜的菩提心以及方便广大宇宙生动机，并且如理如法的谛听。
Please listen to the teaching by cultivating the 2 aspects of supreme motivation, the vast intention of the Mahayana Bodhicitta, the vast method of the sacred mantra Vajrayana, so as able to lead all sentient beings as limitless as space to the state of the unsurpassed Buddhahood.
那我们今天呢继续讲这个中观根本慧论。中观根本慧论呢，我们第一品已经讲完了，现在呢是开始第2品。那第2品呢，主要就是观察来去品，也叫做观来去品。首先我们就是觉得，为什么我们要观察这个来去品呢？为什么要观察来去？这个跟我们修行跟我们成佛有什么关系呢？我们会这样想。这里呢就是有很大的关系。为什么呢？因为我们执着来，我们执着去，我们以为就是真正的在存在一个来去的这样的一个事实存在，所以对这个呢产生了强烈的执着，以及跟上次我们讲的就是有无，就是有无这些边我们都有执着嘛，我们执着有，我们也执着无然后呢就是这些都是我们的执着。所以呢在中观里面呢，主要就是他用非常非常细节的逻辑非常非常细的这个理论来推翻我们的这些执着所以呢他这里就是用来去品的话，它也是我们众生的一个很大的一个执着，我们执着有来有去的这个执着，所以呢为了去掉这些执着所以呢这个观这个就是来去品这样。
So today we continue on the teaching, the root stanza of the middle way. We have finished the first chapter and now we are on to the second chapter. The second chapter here is titled An Examination of Motion. We may ask, why do we need to examine motion? What does it have to do with our practice or our path to enlightenment? Because it is because we are always, our attachment of motion coming and leaving is something that's very strong. Just like the attachment, as we talked before, the attachment of something there is or something there's none, the size of what is there, what is not there. So we have this, since we have this strong attachment towards these things, the Madhyamaka teaching is in a very detailed logical reasoning to refute our attachment. And thus here the topic, the title is of motion, the motion of coming and going. This attachment, since also we have strong attachment to this thing, and thereby this chapter is assigned to refute such attachment.
所以呢我们执着有从过去世来到今世，从今世又去到未来世等等的这些一切的执着所以呢把这些执着，为了把这些执着遣除掉，所以呢这里就是有一个来去品。但是呢这个来去品呢，就是在让我们更容易的能够了解，为了更容易的了解呢，就是把这个来去品的这个理论呢是建立在我们真正的在路上道路上走动走来走去的来去的这样的一个道路上来抉择这个理论。
So we are attached to, from our past life we came to this life, and from this life we are going to this next life. So our attachment of coming and going, this is something that we have. So thereby, for the purpose of eliminating such attachment, then this is the purpose of the second chapter. But however, in order for us to understand this logical reasoning better, this chapter has used the metaphor of the roads that we walk on, the path that we walk on, as the concept. As as the theme for this to illustrate this logical reasoning.
在这里呢，一旦我们真正的就是抉择或是明白了没有这个来去的时候呢，那就以这个来推理，在我们的这个世间或是在我们的执着范围里面的所有的来去都推翻了。我们不需要一个一个的去推翻，我们只要在道路上走路的我们所谓执着的这些来去推翻的话，那所有的东西都一样的，就是这样可以推翻了。
So once we have realized that there is no such coming and going, the concept of coming and going, then our attachment will be eliminated. If we are able to eliminate our attachment towards the concept of coming and going on the road, then we can eliminate the attachment for everything else.
那这里呢，就首先说上一堂课里面我们已经说了，已去无有去，未去亦无去，离去与未去，去时亦无去。上次我们已经说了，就是去不存在。去为什么不存在呢？我们已经去的道路，就是没有道路上没有去了，它是已经过去式，过去的已经过去了。我们任何一个人，我们都没有办法说是过去是存在的，大家都说过去已经过去了，现在不存在了。那未去就是未来有没有去呢？未来也是完全不存在的，未来是一个完全还没有建立的一个东西，所以未来也是未去，所以不存在。所以上次就说已去的东西没有去，这个上面没有这个去字，那未去的上面呢也没有这个去字，所以呢我们自己执着为去的这个东西完全不存在就是这样说。
这是第一句。
对，就是上一堂课已经讲过了，对。
So from the last class, we have talked about from the beginning of chapter 2, the first verse, there is no motion in the having gone and in the not yet gone. So there is no motion. Apart from has gone and has not yet gone, the act of going is not known. So here, this verse is to illustrate that what is past, what has been past, what is gone is that the motion of going does not exist in what has been gone, and does not exist what has not yet gone. So here to say is that what has already happened, what has been passed, is already no longer there, because so thereby this motion, the motion is not in the past. And the motion is also not in the future, because future has not yet, does not exist, because future is a concept that does not exist. It has not been constructed yet. So thereby this motion does not exist in the past, nor exist in the future. So thereby it does not, there's really no existence of what is we say as the motion.
那在这里呢，我们首先要明白就是唯识宗以下的，我们就是在这里要破的这些对境呢，他们都认为一切东西都是实有的、存在的，都外面是存在的，所以他们执着为存在、实有所以呢，在这里要破他们的这个实有的这个执着。如果他们以为是外在的东西不是实有的话，那这些就不用破了，但是这里主要就是他们以为有一个实有的东西存在，所以呢在这里要破的对境就是这样。
So we need to understand that this is the point of view, the perspective of the school of Chira Mantra and below, such that these schools, they all believe that things external, they do exist, they exist externally. Things that are external, they are outside, they do exist. So here, this is why the Madhyamaka point school is to refute those perspectives, these points. Because if they do not believe that things exist externally, then there's really nothing left here to refute.
所以呢，前面刚刚我们讲完的这4句里面就说，我们所谓的一个去，这个中观说是不存在，主要就是讲去这个不存在。为什么不存在呢？他说过去的上面没有这个去字，未来里面也没有去字，这个去不存在，就是这样，刚刚已经破过了。好，接下来呢，就是对方 就是说去存在啊。它这里去存在的理由是什么呢？这里说动处则有去，此中有去时，以去非以去为去，是故去是去就这4句就是他对方的观点。他一说去当然有啊，为什么有这个去字呢？如果动处就是我们人在道路上行走的时候，我们这个脚有提放的这个动作这个动处，这个就是去。他说这就有去这个是有去的。但是呢，他说这一个去呢，已非以去或未去，他这个并不在已去的道路上，也不在未去的道路上。是故呢，它是去时有去就是在这个道路上呢，的确有这个去他就说这里去时去，这个大家要清楚一下，这里所说的去时指的就是道路，就是路去就是指的是去法就是那个行走这里就说他说有这个行走怎么有这个行走呢？因为你在这个道路上脚正在提放的这个上面就有行走他就是这样来建立他的观点。
So here from this verse, the concept of motion does not exist. Why does it not exist? Because because it does not exist in the past, nor does not exist in the future. So thereby it does not exist. So here the first verse already have refuted what the other school claimed that motion exists. And now the next verse is that the other school, the other school that claims exists will say motion does exist because, as it says here, when there is an act of moving, you may say, is there that motion is, and that this is found in someone's act of going. It is not what has gone. It is not in what has not yet gone. Motion thus is in the act of going. So here, their school claims that motion does exist, and it exists in that as you walk. So as a person walks on the path, as the walking, the motion exists within the walking of itself, such that, but then this motion does not exist in the past or in the future. So, but then it exists in this act of going. So this is the claim of the other school.
所以这里仔细大家看这个动处则有去，他说你的脚正在提放的那个动作的当下就有这个去字，然后此中有去时，所以此中呢就是有去时，这个道路也存在，所以呢他说是故去时去，就是是故呢它就是有去时去。这里最大的问题他就说有去时去这个就是最大的问题在这里他去时去这个就是最大的问题在这里存在的，就是说他说这里也有去时，去时就是有道路，然后也有去的这个去法，这个行走他说这两个都存在这里他是因为有动作，他说所以这两个存在。
所以他的问题是因为有这个动作，所以
对对对，
道路跟
这个去法存在，对。
Okay.
去时去。
So the other school claims that here we got to pay close attention. There is the act of moving and there's act of going. So because there is the motion that's found in the act of going, by saying act of going exists, there's also act of moving. So thereby, this is their claim that motion does exist because of so there's act of going and act of moving.
然后这里就下面就是中观的在反驳他们的观点，在反驳观点的时候说，云何与去时而当有去法？他就是说去时的时候怎么可能有去法？就是反问他。刚刚他说是，刚刚对方说因为这里有去法，所以呢有去时就有去时去。这里就是反问他，云何去时与去时而当有去法？怎么可能在去时的道路上这个道路上有这个去法的这个有这个去呢？就是不可能，他说不可能有这个去。 那不可能的没有去的原因是什么呢？他说，若离于去法，去是不可得。因为如果离开了这个去法的话，就是去是不可得，去是不可得。那这个意思是什么呢？好像你先把这个说，我再解释。
Then the Madhyamaka school will refute such point. Here it says that how is it acceptable to say that motion is within the act of going, but when there is no motion, the act of going is untenable. So here, because the act of going here is, excuse me. So here, the other school claims that the motion exists in the act of going. But how is that possible for the motion to exist in the act of going? Because when there's no motion, you cannot claim that the act of going exists. And then the further work to be explained.
首先我们知道，就是说，这里有三个重点。一个呢，我们所说的去时就是道路。我们要称之为道路，它主要是依靠什么来称之为道路啊？要依靠一个人在这个地面上，他的脚在这个地面上提放走动之后，才可以称之为这片前面的这一条是道路。如果一个人从来都没有在这片土地上放过脚、提放过脚的话，这个就是一个空地，我们完全没有办法称之这是道路，对不对？这是一个理由，这是一个。先说这个。
So here there are actually three key points we need to understand. The act of going will refer as a path. In order for this to be called a path, or here we'll just follow the book. The act of going, it must have relied someone walking. So the actual going. And then you can call this an act of going. If there's no one doing so, then there is not an act of going. It would just be like it would be not a path. It would be just a ground.
所以我们要知道，我们所说的道路的时候，它是一定经过人上面走过了，才可以称之为道路。这是一个观点。
So thereby, this point is to say that in order for it to claim as a path, or what we refer as term act of going, there must be somebody already walked on it. If not, then it's just ground.
这是一个。然后另外一个就是说，行走这个词，我们所说的走路或是行走这个词，如果是一个人完全没有动作，就坐在那里，你完全没有办法说他在走路。那什么样的一个动作可以让他说他在走路呢？他的这个脚不断的这样上下这样提放，这样往前进的时候，以这个动作来建立行走的这个名言，这个词才可以称他在行走。所以呢，我们所说的走也要依靠这个动作，我们要建立这个道路也需要这个动作，以这个动作来建立所谓的我们所说的道路，要依靠这个动作，我们要建立所谓的行走。就是这个是观点在这里。
所以说，走要依靠道路，依靠要走才能走。
那这里就说我们所说的走，要以这个动作来建立，道路也要这个动作来建立。
Okay. So the second point is that the act of moving. So in order for we to say somebody is moving, if the person has no motion, then you cannot claim that person is moving or engage in the act of moving.
你可以说 walk.
Okay, so the walk. If the person is not walking, then you cannot claim that person is having a motion. So thereby, in order for the person to be walking, it needs to be supported by the motion. And
应该是这样，应该是有那个 emotion 是动作嘛？
对，
应该要有这个 emotion， 你才可以说他在 walk。
Okay.
如果没有这个 emotion， 你就不能称为他在 walk。
Okay. So in order for a person to say walking, you need to see the motion. If there's no motion, you cannot say that person walking. Okay, so that is the second point.
所以呢，我们要说别人在走也好，或是我们要说道路也好，这两个都建立这两个的主要因素就是有一个动作作业，一个人的脚不断的在这个上面提放，这个动作来建立这两个。
So in order for a path to be in order to support what is a path or to say what is walking, the key factor is the motion that you walk on this path, and then the motion that you support that this person is walking.
就很简单，比如说一个人从来不煮饭的人，我们可以称之他是厨师吗？不可能的所以要称之一个人是厨师，一定他要做饭做得很好，这样才称之为厨师。一个人我们不能就是随随便便称这一个人是屠夫屠杀屠宰场的屠夫，不可以除非他是真正的常常在杀这些众生、杀生命的一个人，我们才可以说是他是屠夫。所以他必须要有杀生的那个动作，才可以称之为屠夫，或是他必须要有做饭炒菜这样的一个动作，才可以称之为厨师。一样的道理，必须要有那个脚不断的提放的这个动作，才可以建立这个道路，或者是要有这个动作才可以称之为是行走。这样清楚了吗，老师
？For example, if someone who has never cooked, you cannot say that person is a chef, because a chef must know how to cook. In order to call a person a chef, he or she must know how to cook. Just like when we cannot just call anyone a butcher, because a butcher, unless he's always killing living beings, then he cannot be called as a butcher. He must have this action of killing in order to call him a butcher. And likewise, you must know how to cook in order to call a chef. Just like you need this motion to claim that you're walking, or the motion, then you can claim what is referred as a path.
OK， 所以呢，这里就是说，我们这里如果我们要称之为道路的话，我们需要一个动作来建立这个道路然后我们要称之为是行走的话，我们也要依靠一个动作。所以这里呢，我们所说的像 Harrison 从这里到旧金山，那这里 Harrison 只有一个人，他一个人只有一个动作，但是呢，这个动作我们要说要建立成道路，要建立道或是行走两个的话，在假的名言上我们可以建立就是假立也可以，但是呢，在真实的上面是不存在的，外面不存在的，不存在是一个 Harrison 在建立这个道路，然后另外一个 Harrison 在建立行走，没有办法成立的所以呢，在这里说，若离与去法，去是不可得。这里就说，如果你将这个动作去建立这个行走的这个去，那去法去使就不可得，去使就是道路不可得，你没办法，你就没有道路了，因为你那个唯一的一个动作去建立了这个去法，也就是去这个行为，就是我们所说的去就是走行走，所以呢，去法去使不可得，那你的道路就没办法成立。
所以这里就是说，那个只能成立一个。
对，
那个
你如果全力去法，
做只能成立一个，在就身体上，
对，
就是名言上可以都有。
对，
一个字，
对，
So here, we need to understand that the path, in order to what we claim as the path, requires the motion as a support to claim what is path. And we also need motion to claim what is referred as walking. So here the example is that Harrison walks to San Francisco. There's this one person with one motion. But then this motion, in a relative term, like relative, you can support what is referred to claim as the path and the walking. However, in the absolute term, the motion can only support one thing. If it supports the path, then that is it. If it cannot support what is walking. If it's going to support walking, then it cannot support what is referred as path.
所以呢，在这里说，若离以去法，去实不可得。如果离开了这个去法的话，你这个去实就没办法得到了，就没有离开了去法的意思就是这里没有那个动作的话，你这个道路就没办法成立啊，就是这意思。
So here, that's why it says, when there is no motion, the act of going is untenable. So just quick, if you have the English text, here, when it says act of going, we are using the term path to illustrate act of going for the sense of clarity. And then the act of moving is kind of like the walking, okay? If you have the text to follow, because it might get confused. Well, so here, it's basically saying that when there's no motion, the path is untenable.
这是一个就是破对方的一个观点，然后另外一个就下面这四句，这四句跟这四句跟下面四句，如果我们不清楚的话，就好像完全是一样的道理一样的，但是不是，这里一定要清楚的一个就是说，上面这个就是说，我们刚刚讲完的这个就是说，如果你用那个动作要去建立这个去法，或者建立这个去的话，那你这个去实就不可得。上面这个是这个，下面这一句就是说，若言去实去，必得与去实应成无去法，去实独去故。如果你要把那个动作来建立这个去实，就是道路的话，那去法不可得，就是说真正的我们说行走就没办法建立啊，它是用这样来有两个方面啊来破的，这样清楚了吗？还不清楚啊，我再解释啊。
所以这就是说，如果用去就是这个动作
对
去建立那个道路的话，那个所谓的走路就
行走就不存在了。对。
So this what we have just said is one of the points to refute what the other schools claim. So here, if we are not clear on this verse and then the next, then you may think they're the same, but they're actually different. So here the next verse says, for those who say that motion is within the act of going, it follows that this act of going is motionless, for motion is within act of going. Okay. So here this verse is basically saying that, on the other hand, if you were to use this motion to support the path, because once you do that, then the walking itself would not be supported, and that thing does not exist. So there is no such thing as walking. So this is what it meant.
这个就怎么说呢？再进一步的我们的观察的话，就是它这是一个非常全面性的一个破斥对方的观点，因为对方的观点就是他说我们所说的去法也是一个独自的，他说存在，然后他也觉得说去实也是独立的存在，实有的，他就是都说这些都是实有的然后呢就是总之就是在他们的认知下面呢，就是都是实有的东西。那比如说实有的东西，我这里举一个例子，这个就是动作，这个就是我们所说的行走，他说行走也是独立的实有存在的，然后道路也是实有存在的，然后动作也是实有存在的。 OK， 他这样说全部都存在的时候呢，那就是说，但是呢，我们要成立这个道路，我们必须用这个动作来成立它。 然后如果是没有这个动作，这只是一片地，根本不是道路。OK， 然后我们要说这个行走必须要有这个动作，我们才可以称之为行走。如果没有这个动作，这个行走没有办法成立。但是呢，他这三个他都觉得是实有的存在的一个东西，实质性的存在。如果是实质性的存在的话，你用这个来建立它的时候，这边就没有 support， 它建立不来了。如果你要把这个拿到这里建立它的话，那这个就没办法成立了。所以对方的观点完全没有办法成立。所以中观就说，这些在名言上我们可以假立假的就是不存在的，如幻如梦般的，你可以说是有那个去实，也有去这些都你可以假立。但是真正的我们细微的去观察的时候，根本不存在。就好像我们说，这个是我走过的道路，那个是我未来会走的道路，或者这个是我现在在走的道路。我们可以这样，不经过观察的时候，我们可以这样说。但是你真正经过观察的时候，你没有一个，你现在根本没有办法看到你走过的道路，因为那个已经过去了，早已过去了因为已经不存在了。未来的道路你更没有办法看到，它没有这个道路。但是我们假立的时候，我们就可以这样说。所以呢，在真实的去观察的时候，这些都不存在了。
So here to further illustrate, this is actually like a really complete refuting point to other schools' point. So again, the other school's point claim that the walking exists, the path exists, such that they all exist and they are real. But this is their claim. They claim that everything exists, like everything is real. But here, if we observe, if we're able to really kind of begin to observe and examine, in order to claim that the path exists, we need the motion. We need to have this motion to say this is the path. Without a motion without motion to walk, then this path is just ground. It's not a path. Okay. So here on the and then the other. So that's one point. The other point, the next refuting point is that if there's no motion, we cannot say walking. We cannot support walking without a motion, meaning that we cannot say someone's walking if there's no motion, right? So thereby, if you use the motion to support what is path, then there's no more walking because the motion is already supporting the path. And likewise, if you're using the motion to support walking, then there's really no more path, no more what we refer as path. So in a relative term, these things can exist, these path or walking, that they all exist at the same time. But if you carefully examine that, they don't exist at once, or so thereby they're more relative, they're not truly existing. So they're more like an illusion. So just like the roads, we say that, oh, I walked this road on, just like if we look at path again, just say that, you can say that, oh, I walked this path yesterday, and the path I have not yet walked before. But on a relative term, you can say that because without careful observation, without examining, because the path you just walked and then the path you have not yet walked. But however, if you examine it, if you truly begin to examine, the path you have walked before no longer exists. It does not exist anymore because it's already different. And then the path you have yet walked is just a concept. It does not exist either. So this is what the Madhyamaka is trying to say here.
那这每一刻、每一秒都过去了，就是过去了，所以就没有这些就不存在了。所以这里呢，就完全的破了对方的观点，说去时去这个观点，就是去时去这个观点就破了。然后不但是有刚刚那个过失，这里还有其他的过失。其他的过失是什么呢？若去时有去，如果你说去时还有去的话，则有两种去，那你就需要两种去了。什么叫做两种去呢？ 这里的这个两种去的意思就是两个动作的意思，你应该有两个动作咯。如果你说去时有去的话，你应该有两个动作了。为什么需要两个动作呢？一为去时，一为去时。一个动作是为了这个道路去时的一个动作，然后二为去时去，第二个呢就是行走的动作，所以你需要两个动作来成立，要不然的话你没办法成立。这是第二个过失就是刚刚之前是一个过失，对不对？现在这是第二个过失，说那这样的话你需要两个动作了，但是两个动作有没有呢？完全没有两个动作，你只有一个动作，你一个人在走的时候，他只有一个动作，根本不可能有两个动作。所以呢，如果你要说去时有去的话，你必须要有两个动作，就第二个过失。
So here we know that the path that we have walked before no longer exists because every second has changed, its moments change. So here, as we continue, here is to completely have Madhyamaka have already refuted the point that motion is in the act of going, and then so that is the first downfall. There's also the other downfall of that other schools claim, and here it is that if the motion is within the act of going, it follows that then there are two motion: the motion thanks to which that there is act of going, and then the motion that is in it. So here, this is to say that if you want to claim that motion is within the act of going, or act of going again is referring to the path. If you want to say that motion is within the path, then you need two motion. One motion to support what is the path, and then one motion to support the walking. But then in reality, when a person walks, there's only one motion. There is no two motion. So this is the second downfall.
然后呢，这里就是不但那个，那之下里还有更多的过失。更多的过失什么呢？他说，若有二去法，则有二去者。那你说好啊，我们可以有两个去法，就是两个动作。那如果你有两个动作的话，一定需要两个去者。去者是谁啊？去者就是人那个去法是什么呢？去法就是业就是他所做的那个脚体放的这个作业如果你有两个作业的话，你一定需要两个作者嘛。所以没有两个作者，你怎么可能有两个作业呢？不可能的。所以就说在这里说，那你要建立这个所谓的去时去的话，你要两个动作，不但有两个动作，而且需要两个人。所以根本这个就是，如果是他说有两个人的话，这个就是完完全全违背了限量的这个限量的规则就完全违背了我们的限量所以就不可能了。所以就说，若有二去法，则有二去者。
And then it continues to say that if it follows that there are two motion, then there are perforce two moving bodies. Without a moving body, motion is untenable. So here it says that even if you have two motion, if you want to say there is two motion, then you need two moving bodies because only one motion can be only done by one body each time. So therefore, in order for that other school to support that the motions within the path, then there's required two motion and two moving body. But in reality, as we observe, there's only one person walking, there's only one moving body and one motion. So again, this is another downfall of what the other schools claim.
下面他说，以离与去者，去法不可得，就是为什么呢？这就说这个中观论说，为什么若有二去法，则有二去者呢？因为你离开了去者的话，你去法不可得。你去法从哪里来没有地方来。你要有去法，必须要依靠去者。所以呢，这里说以离与去者，去法不可得。我刚刚就是中观破斥对方的观点的时候，若有二去法，则有二去者。如果你有二去法的话，你应该要有二去者。为什么呢？因为离开了去者，你去法不可得。因为你这个去法是要依靠去者的，所以没有去者的话，你去法不可得。所以呢，你需要两个去者就是这样。
So here, the next verse continues to support the the prior point of the two motion, two body. So because we claims here says that if without a moving body, motion is untenable. How, when there's no motion, can there be a moving body? So this is to refute that, because since we already know, in order to have two motions, you need to have two moving body, and then the motion cannot. In order to have motion, then you need a body, because he said without a moving body, the motion is untenable. So this is to illustrate why the prior claim of two motion, two body is legitimate, because in order for a motion to occur, you need a moving body. This is what I'm trying to say here.
这样大家清楚哈。这个其实这几句的话，我们把它的重点抓住的话，就不是很难。如果是重点没有抓住的话，这个几个句子好像看起来都在讲一件事情，好像在重复一件事情一样的，但是不是。在这里我们从头开始的前4句是对方的观点，然后后4句就是在破斥对方的观点。破斥对方的观点里面，后4句再4句就是第一个是破对方就说如果是你用那个脚提放的那个动作来成立那个行走的话，你的这个道路没办法成立。然后再后面的4句，他的意思就是说，如果你有把脚提放的那个动作来成立道路的话，那你的去行走的没办法成立。总结来讲，大家基本上就是这样。
你可不可以再讲一次那个总结？
总结就是说，如果是你要用那个脚提放的那个动作来建立那个去法就是行走的话，你的道路没办法成立，这是4句的。然后另外一个就是说，如果是你用那个动作来建立道路的话，你的行走没办法成立，就是这样。
So I hope everybody's clear on this. If you're able to catch the key points, then it will be clear. But otherwise, it sounds like this is all just talking about one thing. So just to like recap or kind of like re-summarize is that the first verse of this chapter is the other school's point. The other school's point claim that the motion is within the act of going, that such motion exists. And then the path and the walking exists. But the refuting point is that if you want to use motion to support what is the walking, what we refer as walking, then there will be no support for what we claim as path. And then if you want to use the motion to claim what we refer as the path, then you cannot. Then there's nothing else to support or to claim that the walking is what is referred as walking.
然后这里就下面这2句是对方的观点，说若离于去者，去法不可得。对方说对，没有错，如果是离开了去者的话，真正的他去法就没有办法成立了。但是呢，他说去者是存在的，这是我们限量可以见到的所以去者是存在的这是对方的观点。
Okay, so here so then the next one, yes, so this is the one that if without a moving body, motion is untenable. So here this point is as claimed again claimed by the other school that since we can see a moving body, since we can see a moving body, then motion exists, because it says without a moving body, motion is untenable. So thereby, if there's a body, since we can see there's a body, though there must be a motion. So this is the claim of the other school.
好，那这里呢，就是以这个同等的理来破斥对方的观点。下面这个就是有同等的理由来破斥对方的观点。什么叫做同等的理由来破斥对方的观点呢？这里说以无去法故，何得有去者？因为没有去法，对方是说因为有去者，所以有去法。这里中观就反问他说，因为没有去法，所以你去者怎么来？这就反过来驳斥他，因为我们上面讲了那么多，就是没有办法建立这个去法所以去法建立不来的话，那去者你从哪里来？去法不可得，这叫做同理的这个遮破方式。
So here in this phrase, I want to just use the terms that we are using right now to say it again. If without a moving body, walking is untenable. So here, the other schools claim that since we can see there's a moving body, then walking, it should exist. Because if there is no a person walking, then there is no act of walking. But here, Madhyamaka school used the reasoning of similarity to deduce that, though, if there's no walking, then how can there be a walking body? Because we are already, in the previous kind of refuting or debate, we are already able to make a claim that the walking itself, it does not exist. So if the walking does not exist, how can there be a body? How can there be a walking? Yeah. How can there be a walking person or body?
为什么这里说是以无去法故呢？我们之前就是观察了，未去的道路上没有这个去法，然后就是已去的道路上没有这个去法，除了已去跟未去的道路上，就再没有一个去法了，所以去法根本不成立啊。所以他说是，那如果去法不成立的话，那去者怎么可以有呢？因为这个互相关带的啊，所以呢，就是没有去法就根本没有办法成立去者，没有去者也没有办法成立去法，所以这两个就是互相关带的，一者不成立，另一者也不成立。
再说一次
啊，因为我们之前讲过这个去法。这个去就是已去也没有去，未去也没有去，除了已去与未去，就是去法就不存在。以前我们这样讲了哈，所以呢，去我们根本没有办法成立。如果是这个去法不成立的话，去者也没有办法成立，因为去者跟去法是互相关带的，所以这两个一者不成立，两者也就不成立了。
So previously we have talked about the path that have already been gone and have not yet gone. So we know that the ones that we have already gone, they do not exist. The ones that we have not yet walked, they do not exist either. So they're kind of on supporting term of each other. So this likewise here, the moving body and the walking itself is also supporting each other. If one of them does not exist, then the other one will not exist either.
所以下面就是总结，他说：去者则不去。不去者不去，然后就离了去不去者，我有第三个去了，很多去啊，今天。OK， 所以这里说去者有没有去啊？去者没有去，去者也没有，去者已经是过去的，就是他没有这个去。那不去者呢，那就更没有去了，不去者更不去了。啊，除了去者与不去者，还有没有个第三个去呢？没有啊，所以呢，就是离去。不去者就是无等三去者，就是没有第三个去者了。所以所谓的去者，这是只是我们在假立，我们在名言上、假象上可以建立这是去者，这是这样那样。但是呢，真正的我们去观察决策的时候呢，去者所谓的去者根本不存在。
So here to conclude in the next verse. Such that the body that is moving has no motion in itself, and that which does not move is destitute of motion. Aside from what is moving and aside from what is motionless, what third thing is there that may move? So we already, from the prior debates, we have deduced that from the previous reasoning, we have deduced that the moving body has no motion itself. And if the moving body does not have motion itself, then and not to say that with the body that is not moving, then it doesn't have motion either. So aside from the body that's moving and then the body that's not moving, there will be no third thing that will move.
这样大家清楚了吗？clear 了哈 ？clear？ No 。OK。哎呀，所以这个。Okay, how do you say? I
don't know because
No. 这个本来就这个中观这个逻辑是本来就有点难的，这不是很容易懂的但是呢，我们就是把它的重点抓住了以后就容易了。如果重点没有抓住，就很难懂。尤其是这个宋词的部分是非常非常。精简就是把那个简缩到非常的缩到很短的，所以呢这个意思就比较难懂。但是呢 把它解释成我们世俗的语言来讲的话，就会比较容易懂。所以我今天就把它讲成道路，然后就行走，然后动作提放啊，你从这样的观点上去看的话，就比较容易懂了。我们就不用说去时去啊，这样好像一项再加这个去，一项再加那个去，这样会有点 confused.
Yeah, so the logical reasoning in the Madhyamaka teaching is something that's very different and actually difficult. But if we can able to grasp the key point, then it will be easier to able to grasp. Especially these verses. These verses are actually very concise in its words. So it's actually very hard to just read the words and then be able to understand. However, if we're able to explain these verses in a modern term, just like today I explained as in terms of the path, the walking, the motion, then that will be very easier for you to understand and grasp.
还有一个就是我们可以用就是时间来抉择啊，也可以用时间来说。其实很多时候我们都是没有真正的去观察，然后我们就说这个存在，我们所说的走路啊，这是存在的。走路存在，因为 Harrison 从家里走到这里 ，Harrison 走路这个存在，我们可以这样讲。我们也可以说这个道路存在，这个道路就是道路，大家在走。我们不观察的这个情况下，这些都可以建立起来。但是你真正的细节的去观察的时候，这个是真正不存在的，只是我们在想象中假立了一些这样的名词，然后就以为这个是存在的，但是真正上这些都不存在。
Also, we can use time as a logical reasoning, and as well. So, and then overall, there are many instances that we assume things exist, but without examining carefully if they actually exist or not. Just like we might assume that walking exists, we can say Harrison walks from home, but we can also say the walking path exists because everybody walks on the path. But however, if we don't examine, really do a deep examination of these things, then we would think that we would be having the claim that they exist. But if we do begin to examine, then we can realize that these things are actually don't truly exist. They're just kind of like our concept.
比如说 Harrison 从家走到这里，那他有没有走呢？没有走。为什么没有走呢？因为走过的路已经走过了，倒不存在了。没有走过的路，他还没有走，也不存在。那有没有存在一个现在正在走的路呢？也不存在。为什么呢？我们在细节的观察的时候，当他的这个脚在跨越一个地方的时候，我们把它再缩小，他的脚的前后，那我们再缩小的时候，他的脚的前跨过的已经跨过了，没有走了；没有跨过的还没有跨过，也没有走。所以你这样细分下来的话，还是想完全没有动。坐在这里。
所以就是说，我走前一脚走就已经没有了，
对，
那后一脚就还没有发生。
对
，OK。So, for example, if we use the metaphor that Harrison walked to here from home, but in reality, he did not walk at all because the path he had walked no longer exists, and the path that he will walk in the future does not exist either, and the path of what you say walking present does not exist either, because if we condense down to like a more smaller scale, as his feet move one step for it, then that path has already been the past, and then the future, and then there's no really future that exists either. So every step already been the past, and then the future does not exist. So there's no what we refer as the present. Again, the present that is just a mental construct. So Harrison just sat here all day. Yeah.
所以就是没有一个正在走的这个根本不存在。
So here to illustrate, there is no actual present of actual walking presently. This concept of walking presently does not exist.
如果正在走不存在的话，那走过的存不存在也不存在。
If the walking presently does not, presently walking does not exist, then the path that already been walked does not exist either.
那未来呢，存不存在也不存在。
And then the future path does not exist either.
那什么存在呢？空性。
Then what does exist? Emptiness.
但是呢，为什么我们还觉得有了？这是我们自己假想的，就是幻觉，这样自己建立了一个这样的一个世界，然后这个也存在，那个也存在，这样。
But why do we still think that things exist, this thing, that thing? It's because it's our own mental construct, our own something that we just created in our own mind.
我们再举一个例子，比如说我们一个河流，我们这个就是一个很明显的一个例子，因为这些我们看不到它的那个非常非常细微的围城的那个摇动和这个变化，我们看不到，所以我们觉得存在。我们就用这个河流来举一个例子，我们就说这条河，这条河就是很久以前就这里有水，就是这条河，这条河是干净的，我们会这样去执着，这只是我们的执着，你以前看到那个水早就没有了。
So, and then we can give another example of a river. This is a very clear example that, because for others, if we use other metaphor, other example, we cannot see the kind of like the micro movement of these other materials. But when we look at a river, using river as an example, when we say we see a river, we would say that this river is clean because we have seen it before. But in reality, the river you have seen before is no longer there already. There's no river already. The river that you've seen before does not exist anymore, because river itself, that river you saw has already moved out. So the river you see is not the river you have seen before.
所以我认识 Harrison 吗？其实我不认识。
So do I really know Harrison? No, I don't really know Harrison.
为什么呢？因为我认识的 Harrison 早就过去了，现在有没有认识呢？也不认识。未来的 Harrison 我会不会认识呢？也不认识，还没有发生。
Why? Because the Harrison I knew is already gone. That Harrison does not exist, and then the present Harrison does not exist either, and the future does not exist. So there is no what we refer as a future Harrison.
全部你这样用很细节的去观察的时候，这只是我们的一个假例而已。如果是我第一次见到那个 Harrison 就是 Harrison 我认识的话，他永远应该就是那样的，他永远都不会老，就是以前那个样子。那这样的话，我们可以说是我认识 Harrison， 但是不是。自从我认识 Harrison 到现在的这个 Harrison 已经有了很大的变化了，不能说老的很多变化。
So if we are able to examine in a more detailed manner, we can really understand these are just really our own mental construct. Because if the Harrison that I knew years ago exists, then Harrison should not change at all until now. If it's truly the Harrison that I knew years ago exists, then Harrison would not change. He would not age or anything. He would not have any kind of changes. But in fact, that's not the case.
但是呢，我们以为这个就是 Harrison， 然后呢，就是对这个就是执着成为 Harrison， 然后就给他贴了一个名字 Harrison 就是这个人。其实这个是我们假立的而已，它存在的我们看到的这个东西，它是一个四大组成的。Harrison 是我们假立的一个名字，我们想象中是这个人，其实不是。所以 Harrison 没有。
But so here, so what you know as Harrison is just your mental construct. Harrison is just a label that you put. Because what you see as Harrison is just really a composition of the four elements. It is just a label. In your mind, it is just a label, but in reality, it's just really nothing. Harrison does not exist. So Harrison doesn't exist.
那四大存不存在呢？也不存在。四大也是我们的一个假立的。我们说这是地水火风。 我们以为这个就是地，我们又给它贴了个标签，这是地。那我们再去分的时候，地存不存在？不存在。水存不存在？我们也是贴的标签，水也不存在。那火存不存在？也是一样。你这样去分下去，全部都是我们在贴标签，然后就是在那里自己建立一个虚幻的世界，实际上这些都不存在。
And then the four elements, do they actually exist? No, they are not either. They're also what we refer as a mental construct. The four elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. If we continue to examine, then we examine earth, then what is earth? And likewise, the fashion, what is fire? These are all just become labels that we put. And as we put these labels on into different things, in different constructs, these things became an illusory world to us.
如果你觉得地水火风存在，这个是地，这个是火，这是风的话，那你说的是火跟这个你说的火跟用英文说的火，然后或者别的语言说的火，哪一个是真实的？如果是我说的这个火是真实的话，那所有的人应该说是火。这个道理通了吗？如果说是所有的人都说火，他们不知道是那个烫的是火的话，那我说的这个火就是假的，一样的道理。这个不太懂啊。这个逻辑就是，如果我所说的火，用中文就说是火，对不对？用英文说是 fire， 然后用藏文说是 me， 这些都是我们自己在建立创造一个东西。其实这些实际上存不存在？不存在。如果这些实际上是存在是真实的话，我们不应该有那么多的东西。我说了火，所有的人都应该知道这个是火，但是不知道啊。
Okay. So when we think of if we do think that earth, water, fire, and wind exist, then if I say fire in Chinese, then everybody should know whether you understand Chinese or not. If I say fire in English, then everybody should know whether you know English or not. So the term fire in these different languages, they're all just mental constructs. Because if they truly exist, then if I said it in any language, then everybody would know what it is.
因为这些全部都是假立的，所以我说用藏文说火，你们听不懂。我们藏族人自己假立了一个名字，然后呢，中国人、华人说火的时候，其他的人种族就听不懂，就是华人他们自己假立了一个名字，然后这个是火。然后用英文说火的时候呢，又其他不懂英文的人听不懂他在说什么。为什么呢？因为他不是真实他们这个团队自己假立了一个这样的名字。世界上有没有？不存在。
Because since these are just mental constructs, if I said fire in Tibetan, then nobody would understand what it means except the Tibetans, because this is like a label constructed among Tibetans. If I said fire in Chinese, then nobody would understand except the Chinese speakers, because this is a construct that was constructed among the Chinese speakers, and likewise for the English. But does it really exist in the world? It does not exist.
所以这些全部都是我们在自己的想象幻觉当中建立了一大堆的东西，然后呢，就是建立了一个虚幻的世界，然后再把对这个虚幻的世界呢，就是视为是一个真实的东西，然后去产生执着，然后当这些产生执着的时候呢，在这个虚幻的东西里面，大家就在产生执着的同时，就是生烦恼，然后就痛苦。这样就是无边无际的就是这样下来，轮回就是这样制造出来的。
So these are all really just our own imaginary things that we imagine in our mind. These mental constructs. These are we have our mental construct have created so many things that it became like an illusory world. But then in this illusory world, we regard it as something that is real, and we develop attachment. And then within with these attachments, then we begin to have mental afflictions, and then we suffer. And this becomes like an endless cycle. So this is how samsara has been created.
所以我们要知道，这个虚幻的世界全部都是假的。 为什么是假的呢？全部都是因为我们自己的想象力建造出来的、建立出来的。我们思维里面，我们的这个分别念建造出来的，所以外面没有一个是真实的东西。我再举一个例子，如果是外面的这些东西是真实的话，那就是人人看到都是应该是一样的，但是呢，完全不是啊。比如说，我们举一个食物的例子啊，就是一道菜我们摆在那里，有些人会觉得好吃，有些人会觉得不好吃。那你要说哪一个是正确的？两个都是不是正确的。觉得不好吃的人也不是正确的，觉得好吃的人也不是正确的。为什么呢？因为这是虚幻的。如果真正是好吃的话，真正的外在的东西上面存在一个好吃的话，那人人都应该是觉得吃了应该觉得好吃。就是因为在那个真正的食物上面不存在一个好吃的这样一个真实的东西，所以有些人觉得好吃，有些人不觉得好吃。所以这是谁呀？就是我们各自在创造一个自己的概念而已，实质上没有。
So we really need to really understand that this world is illusory. This is something that is not real. It is all our mental construct. It is really just created from our own mental thoughts, such that nothing truly exists outside. If something that truly exists outside, then everybody should see the same thing, should see it as the same way. For example, if there's a food dish lying out in the front, somebody, when they try it, some say it's good and some say it's not. So who will be right? Who is right in this matter? The answer is that they're both not right, because since it's illusory, the food that you see exists outside is not real. Because it's not real, then because if it's truly something real, then everybody should think it's good. But since it's not real, so thereby some people think it tastes good, some people think it tastes bad.
所以呢，我们要学中观的目的就是我们要知道这些都不是真实的。当你知道了这些都不是真实的时候呢，你对这些东西的执着突然就减轻了。当你对这些东西的执着减轻的时候，你的痛苦自然而然就会减轻很多。是因为我们对这些东西的执着强，然后呢，会增加我们的痛苦。当我们没有那么强的执着的时候，痛苦自然就减轻了。
So the purpose of learning Madhyamaka teaching is to really understand that everything is illusory, everything is not real. Once you know that they are no longer real, once you know they are not real, then your attachment will reduce, and then thus your suffering will reduce. Because when we have strong attachment, it will enhance our suffering, and so thereby once our attachment ceases, so does our suffering.
为什么我们的执着越大，我们的痛苦越深呢？我举一个例子，如果我这里有两个茶杯，一个茶杯是不怎么样的，一个茶杯是非常漂亮，我很喜欢，对它很有执着的。如果一个人把这个不怎么样的茶杯打烂了，因为我对它没有什么执着，我心里没有什么，我不会生烦恼，打烂就打烂算了吧。但是他把这个很漂亮这个茶杯给我打烂了，我心里会生烦恼，会痛苦，因为我对这个有执着。这个道理就是这么清楚。
Why is that? If our attachment is stronger, then our suffering will be stronger. It will increase as well. For example, if I have two teapots, one is just whatever I don't really care for. The other one is a teapot that I really like. If somebody breaks the teapot that I don't really have no regards to whatever teapot, then I wouldn't think much. I wouldn't have much reaction. It would think, oh well, too bad. But if someone breaks the teapot that I really like, then I will suffer because I will have this strong reaction or mental affliction, and I will suffer because I have a strong attachment towards the beautiful teapot.
所以呢，就这些全部就可以连接起来了。我们今天讲的这个所谓的外在的这些不存在的就因为不存在所以呢，它因为我们执着为存在，所以产生执着，因为产生执着产生痛苦，就是这样来的。所以呢，我们要彻底的就是将这些一切痛苦都遣除掉的话，我们就要从最根本上去解决最根本上去解决是什么呢？就要从根本上对这些 虚幻的世界，认知这个虚幻的世界最重要。认知虚幻的世界的时候，才能够减轻你的执着。如果说我们没有认知这个世界是个虚幻的话，我们怎么样用什么样的方法来减轻执着啊？没有办法，没有一个直接的方法可以让你对这些的执着减轻掉，没有办法。所以呢，我们首先要从根本上去解决的话，我们首先要知道，这所有的这些世界全部是虚幻的，不是真实的。当你知道了这个不是真实的时候，自然而然你的执着就会减轻了。你的执着减轻的时候，自然而然你的痛苦就减少了。就是这样。所以我们要从根本上解决，就是要学习这些经论，然后认知空性，认知世间一切万法都是虚幻的。
So these can all be connected, because of our attachment, thinking that this illusory world is real, then we have this attachment towards it, and thus we suffer. So if we really wish to eliminate all our suffering, we need to start at the root of the problem. The root of the problem is our mental construct, thinking that the world is real. If we're able to recognize the world is illusory, it is not real, then it's only then we can reduce our attachment. If we are unable to recognize this, then having this recognition, then there's no way to eliminate our own attachment. So to resolve the root of the problem is to really understand that the world we perceive is illusory in nature. Because once you know it's not real, then your attachment will reduce, and thus your suffering will reduce. So thereby, this is the problem we need to solve. And in order to solve the problem, we need to learn the teaching of the sutras, and having a recognition that of emptiness, and recognition that all phenomenons is illusory in nature.
所以面对这个世界，我们就好像在娱乐，好像是看电影、看一些魔术一样的，就这样的一个心态看待就可以了。就这样一个心态看待，不要把它看待只是真实的一个东西。如果是看待真实东西，就菩萨们看我们就好像什么样的？菩萨们看我们就好像我们在看一个电视面前，有一个人在看电影的时候，看到里面的很多的这个人比如说是有一些就是打斗的过程当中，他自己拿刀枪，然后就从电视上面碰一样的。就是如果是一个菩萨看我们的话，就好像这样，完全一样的，他们看待我们的就是这样。因为我们不知道这是个虚幻的世界，然后就把它当成很真实的一个东西，然后就那里还有这个自己的这个动作这样。所以菩萨们看待这个世界就好像我们在看电影或者在看一个演戏一样的，你知道它背后全部是假的，只是一个好玩，就是看这样一个虚幻的地方这样。所以堪布次中楼主有讲到，不要对这个世界太真实了，你就把它看待成一个 OK， 有一个假象就可以了，不要对它太他说他的原话是不要对这个世界太认真了，好像是这样说的。
So when we are dealing with this world, it's just, we should be like watching a movie or like watching a magic show, and that alone would suffice. You don't need to really think it's something truly real. When the bodhisattvas look at us, it's just like how we are watching the movie, in the movie that actors, these people acting, they're hurting each other, etc. But this is just like us watching the movie, we know it's not real. And likewise for bodhisattvas, for the bodhisattvas to look at us, it's just that this is just exactly the same as watching a movie. Because for us, since we don't know this world is illusory, it's not real, and but we think it's real, and then we does have all these reactions, attachments. But for the bodhisattvas, for them, this world, for us, and this world, to them, it's just like watching a movie or a show, which is something that is amusing, something not serious. So Khenpo Tujunrodra has once said that the exact word is to don't be too serious about this world, because it's not real.
那今天就讲到这里了。
And this concludes today's teaching.
那接下来大家有什么问题的话，我们可以讨论一下，提问问题。请说。